Yassas and welcome to Vasily's garden, folks. Another exciting adventure here in the veggie garden, and I've got to deal with this Feverfew. This is a beautiful perennial that's been sitting here for over a week, and I've left it go because I can't leave it out anymore. Now, for those who don't know what this is, it's a beautiful perennial plant that has little chrysanthemum-like flowers, but even though it's from the Asteraceae family, it's got a slight scent to it. I don't mind the scent, and it's a beautiful, beautiful plant to have in the garden, a very good companion plant to have, a perennial. And why I'm suggesting having perennials in your garden as well, as you know, we've got the nasturtiums, which are annuals over there. We've got this one that's going in here, well, there's a nasturtium there as well, but we also have got the salvia growing in this bed here. Now, I'm adding these into the garden bed slowly, and I know a lot of you out there, if you're watching me, those who I'm talking to about this, who know what I'm about to say, which sounds like a dribble at the moment, is add some evergreens or even perennials in your veggie garden. So it's not about annuals, which last you 3 to 6 months only. You need to complement the plantation with root systems that will be there forever and a day. The plant dies back, so the perennial here would be in the Feverfew. This will die back, and the best time to cut it back is after the last frosts have set. So it's still too early, but the fact that I've dug them out of that bed over there, and I've got to replant something back there again later on, but the fact that I've dug them out of there, these need to get cut back regardless now. But look, it's still holding its colour, its structure. I won't say colour, because it is a sort of a pale green, yellow colour. It's still holding its structure, so that means there's enough root system there to keep it alive. It hasn't really been stressed out too much. That was already died back on top, the flower heads there. So we are going to cut it back somewhat, but we're going to plant it in this bed here. Now, in this bed, there's been previously, sorry, I'm just watching Vader destroying her again. There he goes. Okay, just a cue. We're going to go back to there for a little bit, as we always do with our little videos. Well, back to here now. Now, this bed here in the past, settled out. This bed here in the past was just with a planting mix, or a mixture of compost and topsoil, or garden mix, I should say. Our planting mix hasn't hit this bed yet, so it's going to be getting that now. Well, today and onwards. We're not going to get a chance to do this entire bed because it's getting quite dark. So what I'm going to do now is just plant the Feverfew in this bed here. I'm going to loosen up the soil just where it's going in. And if you notice, we've got our irrigation in here already as well. Look at the rows. Look how I've done it here. A big rectangle on the outside, a perimeter, and then we've got it every 30 centimetres running down the middle. So no matter where you plant in this garden bed, water will get to it. So you want them about 30 or 40 centimetres apart, the rows of irrigation. This is a drip system. You don't want it sitting on the surface where the sun can see it, because on the hot days or the seasons where it's quite hot, it heats up the pipes, so the water becomes quite hot, and it takes a while to cool down before it gets into the roots, and you don't want to cook them. So keeping it under the mulch is ideal. Even if you bury it about an inch or two below the garden soil surface is fine. Now, you should, on a regular basis, maybe once a month, every 3 months, take one end off and flush it through and allow the water to come out. Good girl now. All right, keep going. And why you do that is that sometimes there's sediment built up, but ideally from the tap's point, that's where you should have a filter on it to get any sediments that are coming through the pipeline caught up in that and not blocking the pipeline here where the drippers are. But just on the safety again, every couple of months or 3 months, open up one end, turn the pressure on and flush it through, and that will get rid of all the sediment inside. Back to planting. Feverfew. That's what we're putting in here. And then afterwards, I'm going to top it up with a bit of compost, cocoa pith, that's what we've got here waiting. Cocoa pith planting mix, and obviously straw on top. But for now, let's just loosen up this soil so we can get this into the ground, and then we'll come back tomorrow and do the rest of the planting as well. Just loosening it up. You see all the old root systems in here, they're all going to break down over time and become a food source for the bacteria. Now, the perennial in the ground, because it's got an active root system throughout, even though it goes dormant, the root system is remaining there. They inoculate some of the microbes on there and the fungi, and that networking starts to develop, so it's always active, more so in the growing season than it is in the winter period. But it's important to put your perennials in. Not only that, some perennials like this one here have got some health benefits as well. I haven't personally used this, but I know that it is a great insect repellent. It's a great plant to have as a complement plant around fruit trees. In this case, I'm doing it around the veggie garden, but it does multiply quite easily. You see, this is a new plant in its own right, just just sprouting up at the bottom there. This is not connected to the main mother plant. That's purely a new baby pup plant there, which you can transplant on its own into the garden bed. I'm going to put the full plant in here for now, and later on, as it grows, I will divide it. Now, the way you use it for mosquito as a repellent, that's an easy one. Not now during the dying period where it's going dormant, but when it's in flower, you want to take, a tablespoon or two of flowers and some leaves and put it in some hot water, boiling water, and let it steep in there for a few minutes until it cools right down, basically, and then strain out all the leaves and the flowers, and then use a bit of cotton wool and just rub it on your skin as a repellent. That's as simple as that. That's Feverfew. Really good, and it's actually good as a repellent and a deterrent for other pests and insects that get into your garden, so you get far less insects attacking or pests attacking your garden. Also, safe around pets and animals. Do not eat it, especially if you know you've got allergies from pyrethrum and other herbs like that, because this can cause a few sores to develop in your mouth. But as a medicinal topical product, perfect for it. Now, researching it a bit, it is safe, as I said, for dogs and cats. Not that they'll go up to it that easily and eat it, especially these two mutts. Oh, look at that. How cute are they? Oh, no more talking. Because they'll get up and come to me. So we're going to pop this in the ground here now. Don't have to tease the roots too much because it's all going to break away. See that? So straight in the ground. It's sitting a little bit high, if you noticed that already. That's because I'm going to top it up with some compost, cocoa, and our planting mix. I'm not putting any compost in this bed this time. We're doing different trials with everything. So companion planting is a must. Perennials are fantastic for the garden. There's a huge array of perennials out there in the gardening world, especially from your local garden centre. So pop down there. Renaissance Herbs has a great collection to work with as well. So if you're looking for quality plants, go to the Renaissance Herbs range and have a look at what they're offering at your local garden centre. I've got this one, which basically came from them. This one here, the Feverfew, in this corner. We've got our salvia in that corner there, and we're just going to start dotting the place around with different perennials that we love to see in the garden. Bees are fine for this one as well too, so when this is in its full flight of flowers, it's got nothing but bees all over it and they love it. So no harm to the bees. It's a good deterrent. And this is still working, and I'm just going to give it a light prune. It's almost like a dead head for now, so it looks a lot cleaner than what it is at the moment. And then come at the end of late winter, just before it's ready to burst out again next springtime, we're going to cut this right back. We're going to cut it right back to the ground, because it will die back naturally on its own as well. So this will go straight back to the ground, and it'll come up again in springtime, bigger, better and stronger. And don't forget, superfood, blackweed and our liquid fertilisers, the only products you should have in your garden shed, folks. Lots of that stuff going around at local garden centres or on our website as well, vasilisgarden.com. We haven't got Feverfew on there, but we've got the superfood. Check it out from me, Vasili Maresi.